Hello, everyone. We're gonna start here. My name is Jorge Magana. I'm Associate Director of Financial Aid here at Berkeley Law. Today, we're gonna have a short presentation on the degree students and the different programs, and it's mainly just an information session, so that you guys are aware of some of the things that are required of you and um, some of the things that our office does and where to go and how to find resources. Um, so we'll start here. So this is our agenda. First thing, we're gonna go over the Berkeley Law Joint Degree Plan form. We're gonna go over the enrollment tracks, and then we're gonna go over Berkeley Law Gift Aid. So the first thing is we have a form for everybody to fill out. It's called the Berkeley Law Joint Degree Plan form. This should be completed as soon as you are enrolled in the second program of study. Mainly what it does, it helps our office track dual students, and you'll see as this presentation goes along as to why that's very important for us. You want to complete with the most accurate information up to that date. Of course, things will change, but just complete it based on the information you have at that time. And of course, if there's any changes, please contact our office. This form can be found on our website, so you could just do like a Google search or go to our website, law.berkeley.edu, and then search for dual degree or Berkeley Law Joint Degree Plan form. You should be able to find it on there. Now, one of the things that you'll see or that you'll learn quickly is that when do students apply for the joint degree programs? So for the masters for the MPP, students applying in their second year, and JD students applying in their second or third year will not be admitted to the MPP JD degree program. This is the Masters of Public Policy. The MBA, and then for the MBA JD program, MBA students applying in their second year and JD students applying in their third year will not be admitted to the MBA JD program. Masters of Social Welfare students applying in their second year and JD students applying in their third year will not be admitted to the MSW JD program. Masters of City Planning students applying in their second year and JD students applying in their third year will not be admitted to the MCP JD degree program. So keep this in mind when you're thinking about applying. You obviously want to make sure that once you should decide pretty soon, and then once you decide, make sure you apply in time, because if you don't apply in time, you're not giving yourself a chance to be accepted to these programs. Every program has an enrollment track. There are some general um, some some of the years are very general to everybody. So, for example, the first year you will spend the entire academic year at one school. So either, for example, here we have the Goldman, the example of MPP. First year will be either all at Goldman or all at Berkeley. Same thing with the other schools. You're going to spend the entire academic year at one school or the other. The second year is going to be the other school or the other program. So whatever you didn't spend, whatever program you were not in, the first year you'll be there in the second year, and then the third year you will spend either at one school or it's going to be split between both schools depending on your enrollment track. And again, all programs have enrollment tracks. Some of them have as little as 2 enrollment tracks, some have 4 enrollment tracks. So depending on which one you do, it'll depend on what school you're going to be at, what year. MPP and JD will spend fall at Berkeley and spring at Goldman during their third year. Fourth year, you will either spend it all at Berkeley or only spring at Berkeley, which means fall you would be at the other school or the other program. Um, this is for the master's students. If you're doing JD, JSP, it's completely different. You don't have enrollment tracks. Um, with the administration team or the admissions team tell students is to please wait until you're finished uh, at least 2 years and all JSP requirements and the two milestone tests before taking a leave for JD. So that's a bit different from the master's programs. Additionally, during 1L JSP JD students at Berkeley Law will take law classes, and then 2L and 3L, you would begin to fill in your schedule with maybe one or two JSP classes. So you're going to get that started again, the JSP program again during your 2L and 3L year. Um, so keep in mind that admissions and financial aid for each program are independent of each other. So we don't, so I mostly work with JD students. Um, when admissions for JD, when you're applying for JD admissions, we're really blind to you applying to other programs and the other aid you're getting, which is why we ask for that dual degree plan form. So keep that in mind now. Um, if you could tell us, we do ask if you're applying for another program. Obviously, it's not going to hurt your chances of getting into the JD, but we are blind to it. We don't necessarily take it into account, other than obviously it probably looks really good on your resume. So please, if you have any questions specific to admissions, um, go to the specific program or the specific school, because it is independent of the JD admissions, and all the programs are independent of each other. So for Berkeley Law Gift Aid, when you are attending the JD program, that's when you're going to get your gift aid. So if you're already in the JD program, you know that the language we use is we give you the entire an amount over the 3 years. For example, we say 90 over 3, 120 over 3, um, et cetera, 150 over 3. When you're doing the dual programs, think about it not in years, but in semesters. So if you're getting 30 a year, that's really 15,000 per semester. If you're getting 40 a year, that's really 20,000 per semester. So you want to think about it like that, because you won't be you won't be enrolled in the JD program for 6 semesters. So a lot of times students think, well, I got 30,000 for the year, so I'm gonna get that even if I'm in the other program, but that's not the case. You're gonna get whatever amount for that specific semester, and the way we talk about it, and the way we kind of uh, kind of figure out when we provide your gift aid is if you're paying JD professional degree supplemental tuition, then you will receive your gift aid. So the times you're not paying JD PDST is the times that you're not going to get your gift aid, because you're in the other program, whether it's one of the master's programs or one of the JSP program. So again, Berkeley Law gift aid, when not attending the JD program, you will not receive the gift aid, except in your last year, and we'll talk about this later. You will not lose your Berkeley Law gift aid. So don't think about it as a loss, but think about it as, I'm not enrolled in this I'm not enrolled in the JD program this semester, so I'm not getting my JD money, my gift aid. But once you come back to the JD program, once you're enrolled in the JD program again, then you will get that semester's worth. Again, you won't get the entire year, but you're going to get that semester. Now, if you do spring only and you've got 30 a year, then you're going to get 15. Now, if you do fall and spring, you're going to get 15 and 15, which would equal the 30 that you originally received. The last year of the dual program, you can get Berkeley Law gift aid if you take at least 7 units in both the fall and the spring semesters at both schools. So you're gonna be paying, if you do this, you're gonna be paying JD, professional degree supplemental tuition, and let's say if you're the MBA, you would be paying Haas, or if you're the MPP, you would be paying Goldman, PDST. So because you would be paying for both of them, for both professional degree supplemental tuitions, and because it's your last year, you would actually receive your Berkeley Law gift aid in this scenario. It's your last year and you have at least 7 units. And again, this is why it's important to have that form filled out, because we don't know necessarily when it's your last year unless we look at that form, and then we can identify when your last year, um, and that lets us know, okay, if they have at least 7 units for both semesters, then they could get their gift aid. One of the Another issue and another reason why we ask for the um, degree form, dual degree plan form, is because if you're already enrolled in one of the degree programs, you already know that our system is not dual degree program friendly. It There's a lot of things behind the scenes on Cal Central, the system we use, that unfortunately it's not smart enough for the for it's not smart enough, and it doesn't work well enough for the dual degree program students. So because of that, you cannot accept your own gift aid, your own loans. Obviously, your grants, we accept them for you, but if you're if you're just a JD, let's say for example, a JD student, you could go to your Cal Central, go to view awards, and then go accept loans. You can put in the amount, you can max out or put anything less than that. You accept your loans, and then the system lets us know that you accepted the loans, and no issue, no problem. But with dual degree program, the system is not smart enough. It gets confused. It says, oh, this student's law, but also the business school, and I don't know what's going on. So basically prevents you from accepting your loans. So please let us know, contact our office, and we will accept them for you. All we need is a simple email saying, um, I'm a dual degree student, I have loans, but I can't accept them on Cal Central. Please accept X amount, and then we will do that for you. Um, Another major thing about dual degree students is sometimes you don't know where to go because um, you're you're navigating multiple schools and multiple programs. So when you're a JD student and you have questions on your financial aid, contact the Berkeley Law Financial Aid Office, our office. Um, and we also have Berkeley Law also has a registrar office. So when you're in the JD program and you have questions about your enrollment or your classes, contact Berkeley Law Registrar's office. When you get to your third year and you're preparing for your bar and you need bar funding, contact Berkeley Law Financial Aid Office. As a JSP student, when you're enrolled in the JSP program, I would contact, and you probably know who it is if you're who this person is if you're already in the JSP program, but his name is Michael Paz. He's the person that handles all the funding for the JSP students. So please contact him if you're was a JSP student at that time. Um, if you have issues with your billing, and I don't know if you've had issues with your billing this last week. I know there's a lot of issues. There's several students who have issues with their billing. Our Berkeley Law Financial Aid does not handle billing, but you could contact Cal Student Central. You contact them for billing questions, for payment, refund questions. Um, So anything billing related, you could contact them even when you're in the JD program, because our office doesn't handle any um, billing charges. I mean, you could always contact our office, but sometimes we're just gonna refer you to Cal Student Central if it's a billing question. Um, One of the things to note is that Berkeley Law and Haas are the only other satellite financial aid offices. So if you are enrolled in MSW or MCP or MPP and you have financial aid questions, you want to contact the main campus financial aid office. Again, because you're not enrolled as a JD student, our office, we can review your file and we can um, identify issues, but we won't be able to solve them um, because you're not, at that point, you wouldn't be considered a JD student. So probably the number one thing to do is contact the main campus financial aid office. Another great resource for anybody, including JD students, is the Berkeley Graduate Division. I would contact them if you have questions on admissions, enrollment, for any of the programs, including ours, although they probably will refer you to one of our admissions or financial aid offices. They also have funding for graduate programs. I don't know if you've been on their website, but they have fellowships. They have GSI, GSR, graduate student instructor, graduate student researcher. What do these things? The GSI, GSR, um, they're great if you're interested in maybe being in academia or you want to get additional aid and you're okay working. What it is basically kind of being like um like a TA, like a teacher's assistant. And not only do you get paid, you get your regular pay, but you also get help with your tuition. So it's a really great resource. That goes through Berkeley Graduate Division. They also have graduate student parent or caregiver grants. So again, a lot of resources that go for any graduate program. So, our programs are like Berkeley Law, like if you apply for the JD program, or if, you already know that we um, provide funding for the JD. And once you're a student, there's not a lot of funding your second and third year, but you could potentially get funding through Berkeley Graduate Division. So I definitely recommend, um, if you haven't done so, visit their website. They have a lot of great information on not only admissions and enrollment for the grad programs, but also for funding. Um, for any of the programs. Some of them obviously um, are specific to certain programs, so you might not be eligible for them, but definitely check it out, and I'm sure you'll be able to find something. And definitely, if you find something that you think you're eligible for, definitely apply. Like I always tell students, don't self-select yourself out of any opportunity. Let us decide whether you get it or not. So please apply as much as you can. So we're almost done here. A couple of reminders. Please complete the Berkeley Law Joint Degree Plan form. It really helps us. It helps us keep track of your your enrollment, your financial aid. It helps us let us know what enrollment track you're in and um, when we should be careful with, or when we should be awarding you gift aid, when the other program or the other school should be awarding you. Another thing to keep in mind, you only receive Berkeley Law gift aid if you are paying JD professional degree supplemental tuition. So that's when you get your gift aid, except in your last year, you can receive your Berkeley Law gift aid if you are enrolled in 7 units at both schools in the fall and in the spring semesters. And again, we don't know when your last year is unless you complete the form and you figure out your track. So again, it's very important to complete that form. And if you have any questions about how to accept your loans, or if you're having issues accepting your loans. Again, it's a very common issue with Berkeley, with JD dual degree students. So just let us know, because it's a very common, we deal with it all the time. And I know it's frustrating, but it's something that unfortunately we haven't been able to fix. So just please contact us if you're having that issue. So that's it for my presentation. Does anybody have any questions or concerns um, about the dual degree programs? So again, one thing that I want to emphasize is every program is independent of each other. So um, if you're already in the JD program, and you want to apply to one of the other programs, please contact their admissions department, um, and they're going to provide whatever requirements they you need for admissions, and they're also will um, provide you with gift aid for their specific program. And again, there's going to be independent of ours. Um, they really are blind to it. We don't share that information with them. So feel free to um, let them know if you want to, that you are in the a JD student, or you plan on being a JD student, but you don't have to let them know at all, because it's independent. So until we get that form, we actually don't know if you're a dual student. Okay, well, thanks for attending today. If you have further questions or concerns, please email our office, call our office, stop by our office. We're always willing to help. As the only other one of the only two other satellite offices, we get a ton of questions, even when it's not about just the JD program, because um, we are very available to students. So even if you want to ask about other programs, you could definitely ask. We probably won't have the answers, but we could definitely find the right people for you. So I always tell students, just come to our office and then we'll figure it out. If we don't have the answers, we'll figure it out, and we'll find the right people for you. But again, thanks for attending today, and hopefully this was useful information. Have a good day.